He's asking about Leonard stuff, guys.
What have we learned?
That there's so much more to what there's so much more we don't know. Yep.
Actually, yung tinuro ka na is how to learn yesterday.
How to learn.
Hindi pa kayo learning anything, it's how to learn.
Ano pa lang yan intro pa lang ni Leonard yan marami pa yan.
What have we learned yesterday? Come on guys, come on. This is our part of the exercise. Go to the exercise. What have we learned from it? Yes.
Boss, yung yung different game per person. So, a rule that works for one may be the opposite that needed for the other one. So, kapag magkaiba sila talaga ng play, hindi din sila pwedeng magtalo kasi magkaiba naman talaga sila ng play.
Which one in terms of we can learn?
Ano po? Opo. Ay,
Between skill and
No,
Okay.
actually, EIP versus basura ko ito eh.
Huh?
EIP
This
versus...
was the one about, sometimes I see your strategy is different from another person's strategy. So if you're using, if someone is making
Are
a
you supposed to
specific
share?
point, if someone is making a specific point, but it only works for his strategy, it doesn't make sense for you to, for the other person to be overly concerned about it.
But don't we have a standard system already that we follow? The standard rules that we follow. I mean, you guys, do you follow standard rules? Because if you don't have a standard rule, that means you don't have a rule of, let's say like in a momentum, what you do, in a swing, what you do, in a coil, what you do, right? Then that means if you don't have those set of rules, that means
I mean to say like
you
things
cannot
like,
measure it.
things like nuances on coils are different than nuances on momentum is like.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So in other words, how many styles do we have? We have a momentum, di ba? Momentum setup, we have that. Then we have pullbacks on the swing, we have that. And after the swing, you have the coils, right? So coils are just either rising coils, or falling coils, or rising coils, or it's a falling coil or flat coil or falling coil or flat coil on the way down, flat coil or rising wedge, di ba? Rising coils. So they're just a few lang dapat, di ba? Right? So because yesterday when I was listening to Leonard, it's nothing that we don't know. It's nothing that we don't know. The only thing is, like Leonard, has to go through the whole process of understanding the reason behind. Kasi matalino yan eh. Pag matalino ka, dapat iniisip mo kung bakit ganun. But then, he has to go to that experience on his own, di ba? Did you get it? I mean, the sad part about it, and I was listening to Leonard's podcast, and he said the difference between the good and the great trader is really because you have to believe in what you're doing. What is the reason behind why you cannot execute? Because you have doubts. Right or wrong? Ganun lang naman yan eh, di ba? Between what's the reason behind it? Why you cannot execute? Kasi it's basically you still don't believe that, you don't trust that system. So that's what he was saying deliberately, you have to keep on practicing, di ba? Just correct me if I'm wrong, the guys have to tell me, di ba? Belief eh, it's a belief eh.
Sabi niya kahapon kasi, yung you need to repeat yung repetition para ma-counter mo yung human nature. Kasi,
Yes.
Kasi yung human nature,
It's a skill,
lumalabas eh.
No. You know the reason why the human nature changes? It's because sentiment keep on changing. Diba? It's a sentiment that keep on changing. And that's the reason why if you understand the probability, it only works 30-40%. Diba? And what's the reason why it only works for 30%? It's the same rules, but you can only make it 30-40%. Did you get it? Diba? Because the sentiment keep on changing. Right? I don't know. I mean, you have to correct me if I'm wrong. I think you guys are. I mean, I trade very mechanically. Very mechanically. I am probably one of the most disciplined. I think. I'm one of the most disciplined. I really follow the rules. Sometimes I don't. The only reason why I don't is because if I'm buying for, let's say, if I'm buying for, when markets are capitulating like what we're seeing in the Philippines, wala na yan, nagdi-deploy na ako. I'm not trading what I see, I'm trading what I think na. I think it's oversold. I think the bull market is oversold in the US, in the Philippines. And the only reason why I was doubting the Philippine market that is way oversold is because I can see the US dropping. Nakikita ko kasi US, bababa, di ba? Kaya hindi ako maka-deploy ng marami. Well, you cannot really deploy a lot, but you should be looking to deploy in the Philippines. You should really be looking to deploy in the Philippines. Because the Philippines is really way oversold. Eh makikita mo sila, nagbebenta, the next day wala na. Nagbebenta, the next day wala na. Pero that means, what does it mean? What means it's the last 5 or 10% of the total liquidation that's happening. So, if you see insiders there buying every day, that means there's an underlying accumulation going on. Right or no? So those are the things where maybe what Leonard was saying yesterday is because it's through experience. But we're not telling you to do that. We're not telling you to do that. Trading what you think is it's beyond. What we're trying to do here is that we're learning how to trade what we see, meaning we need to learn how we see. Right or wrong? Di ba dapat ganun? Trade what you see, trade what you think. We're a technician. If you're a market time, you have to trade what you see, not what you think. Di ba? The only reason why we do trade what we think is because when everything is capitulating, I need to be there. Kailangan may probe na ako. I'm not talking about you guys. Me, I would start probing already. What is the reason? It's because I know it's way oversold. But if I don't feel it, if I don't try to buy it, I cannot feel it. Kasi I do size. You guys have to do your bar. Me, kasi I have to have a size. But what's the point of buying then? I don't have a size. Right? So those are the challenges that we have. So yesterday I was listening to Leonard and I was trying to see there is some reason why I was looking at it. I look at it and I was saying to myself, I said, it's part of the FTSR now. Don't you think? That's why I was asking him between the skill and luck. I believe that the FTSR protects you from being wrong. Kasi may framework eh.
When you're wrong.
Huh?
Not be wrong, when you're wrong.
Oh.
Protects you when you're wrong.
Protects you when you're wrong. Diba? So, by being protected from this FTSR, the bar, whatever, let's see, then one day, when the sentiment changes, the luck will, when the sentiment is basically when the good market comes, then you make the money. So the luck is what we're saying is that the luck is just sentiment. Whether it become a good market or not. Right or wrong? Diba? So I was just looking at this. The FTSR, the framework that was created 5 years ago, is really your safety net. You have to believe that it works. Because if you don't believe that it works, then everything you're saying is random. It's luck, which is, I really don't believe that. I really don't believe that. I believe, yes, luck. The luck was like this. Let me show you some example. When I started, somebody invited me to invest in a 3-star hotel. Sabi ko, sige, laban ako dyan. Kasi may partner ako eh. Diba? So what we started is, I never knew that I can buy 1,000 square meter, I can build a hotel. Hindi ko alam yan. Kasi akala ko talagang 3,000. That's why I never bought one. So I started looking at properties, and I saw one in Malate. 1,000 square meter, 990 something. Beautiful property. Beside Aristocrat, beside there's a hop-in. Oh, ganda naman ito. There was another property being sold, same road. This is the property. The other one is not facing the bay. It was being sold for 130,000. This one was being sold for 170. So I got these two properties. Buy it for me. 202,000. Pinili ko. 1,000 square meter. So sabi ng at the meeting, we submitted the offer. Okay, done. The seller happily willing to sell to you. 202,000. 170 yan, ha? I bid at 20% more. So, inaayos ang papeles. 3 days later, nothing's happening. So, I called up the broker. Paulo, ano ba yan? Tuloy ba yan? Boss, tuloy yan. Inaayos lang namin itong papeles. It's a big firm na. Litchi Brothers is a big firm. The next day, came to me. Sorry, pasensya. Pinakain pa nga kami nun eh. Pasensya ka na. The seller wants 240. Kukunin mo ba yan? Hindi. I bidded 170. We're talking about luck. We're talking about luck. Meaning, my effort is there. Diba? That was last year, April. Last year, April. Yeah, last year, April. So I bidded for that. Right? Do I give it 240 or not?
Basta mo na yung sagot eh. Nakwenta ko na eh. Sorry.
O, ikaw na lang. Kukunin ko ba? Hindi. Hindi ko kinuha. Kasi tirapo siya eh. Imagine, 170 na 2 weeks ago. Ngayon, 240. Siya na kung bahala ka sa buhay mo. Hindi mo kinuha. You know how much is it today? 580,000. Shit, imagine 1,000 square guy can make 200 plus million. Oh, nawala na saan ang luck ko. Wala. I'm just explaining to you. Right? Nawala. Di ba? Right? The only thing is, sabi ng Diyos sa akin, hindi para sa'yo. Hindi para sa akin. So I have always accepted it. Kung hindi, I bought my URC at 8, I sold it at 12, 2,200. If I have to think about it, I will go crazy. Right? Did you understand? So this is between what is a skill and what is luck. Right? But then I met your dad. So I bought a property in Iloilo. So we have 20% lang. The only problem is that we went up 150%. Diba? But it's consistent. I like the property. So I bought it. So that's out. Maybe 10, 15%. Okay na sa akin yan. But that's the skill part. May skill, may luck. May skill, may luck. Pero consistent ako. Basta ako, gusto ko, sige, kukunin ko. I'll make a bid pa. Nag-overbid pa ako. Nadalay lang. That means hindi para sa akin. So trading is the same. It's a process. You have to be consistent. That's what I'm just showing. It's a process. You have to be consistent. Because if you're not consistent, then you cannot measure it. Now the problem is, it's just the sentiment of the market. That's why you have to know the different sentiment, because different sentiment, different rules. Right or wrong? So you guys have to really, that's why we ask you to write down, what is really your rules? What is these rules that we talk about? Diba? So it's a different setup. Momentum has a different setup. Swing has a different setup. Coils has a different setup. Okay? Now, shorting is the same. When you're going long, it's just baliktad mo lang yan. It's the same. Right? So what is the reason of the hesitation? Of you not participating in the short? What is that hesitation? You don't know when it's going to go down. Tama ba, Mali? Right? I mean, the hesitation. Okay, so let's take away all this moving average. Just do a 50 and a 200-day moving average. So what is that moving average that will determine whether the market is going to come down or not? So let's look at PSEI. So if you look at this, it's clearer, no? Is it not clearer? Is it clearer? Clear ba? Just by putting two lines now, just to be able to see between support and resistance. So markets are, in January, was marking up, right? Diba? So, kasi always remember, like for example, today, I'm looking to go long. A few months ago, 4 months ago, I was also looking to go long. Right? Because when markets are oversold, we are looking to go long. Right? Kasi mura na naman talaga eh. We just don't know when it's going to reverse, right? Hindi natin alam yan. So always just very consistent. When that thing breaks, let's say the 50-day, all bets are off. So taas yan, sa taas yan. Yeah, yes, taas yan. Reversal eh. Diba? When it starts breaking down, I want to be, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go long anymore. Kasi market is overbought eh, di ba? Pag overbought ang ginagawa na, are we buying or selling? We should be selling. On the way up, we should be selling. Vice versa. When it's going down, I want to be looking to buy also. Now, this is very different from what we're teaching you. Kasi in the US, at that time, you still have a lot of loans that you can go to. Right? Tama? Tama? Diba? And that's the reason why, let's say, because like, if I look at this as the 50 and the 200 day. Right? 50 and the 200 day. No, in the middle, yeah. Yeah, that middle. As it breaks the 50, that's a reset, diba? So at reset for breakout, you should now be looking at what? To go long. So when you're going to go long, what are the issues that you should be looking for? Those alpha issues that you have, right? Right? So in other words, you can go momentum, you can go pullback on those strong issues. Similar, look at this one. Just on those alone, diba? Right? The thing is that after that reset, that full breakout, all the alphas work. Right? How do we know that the alphas is not working? Like new high, but we can feel it already. Now, it's the breakout are not working. You remember? So when did I signal na tapos na yung Russell? It was the day that it broke the 50-day. That day, so tapos na yung market. Right? So I'm only just using a very mechanical moving average 50-day to determine the big picture, the sentiment picture. But you have to remember, 1 or 2 months before, yung mga longs namin, hindi na kumikita.
Dito pa lang.
Ha? Hindi na kumikita yan. Wala na pala ko yan.
After AMD,
Wala na yan. Diba?
actually, even during the period of AMD,
Marami nang nawawala.
marami ng failure.
Marami na fail.
Nagkataon na may marijuana pa afterwards. Yun yung dulo.
So those are the things, let me just to explain to you guys, is that I always use the big picture, the top down, to determine whether I should be going long or should be going short. Ganun kasimple lang. So in fact, if you ask me today, let's say like, for example, in the Philippines, I'm really looking for long. Right? I'm looking for long. I know it's tough. It's like a double bottom, a mixi, but I'm sure everybody is doing the same thing. Those value players are looking at the same thing.
It's a personality.
It's just that hindi mo alam kung when it's bottoming out. I don't know. I really don't know. Pero ako, I'm looking for long. Long, basically, maybe in AGI, kasi we saw that 1350, right? Diba? Or let's say, diba? Di mo maganda yan? Sure. Hindi mo lang pa. Diba? So those are the things that we look for. Now, this is very different from what you guys are learning. What you guys are learning. Because today, there's really nothing to be able to do. But consistently, ito, hindi ko ginagalaw yan. Ha? Kasi meron akong security code na mas maganda. Hindi, diba? So meaning, may mga choices ako.
Hindi ka.
Actually, the reason why he's doing this is because if you're looking at things to do in the Philippines, there's nothing to do
Yeah, that's right.
in the Philippines. It's the reason why we choose not to do these things. We don't encourage you guys to do these things is because if you look at different markets, there are so many other opportunities for you in
That's right.
other markets for you to do.
But the reason why I'm explaining these guys to you is that you have to be well-rounded. That's what I'm trying to say. As a trader, you have to be well-rounded. Now, if you talk to Minervini, alam naman yung bababayan eh. Walang ginagawa ni Minervini, nag-short pa siya, hindi. Hindi siya nag-short. That I respect. That's the kind of discipline that he has. But you have to understand the reason why he doesn't like shorting the market. So he will hedge it, but he's not going to short it. Right? Then ako, kasi he looks at it from a much bigger and shorting is really much more difficult. Much more. What is the reason why it is much more difficult? Look at it from the big picture. What is the reason why Minervini doesn't want to short the market? There should be a reason. Anong reason? Anong reason? The US economy is doing well or not? Huh? It's doing well. So how can you, di ba? Main Street is doing well. It's just overbought. It's just interest rate is going up. So alam niya, bababa yan. Pero when it goes down, is he going to go low or short? Go long. Do you get it? Look, tayo naman dito sa Pilipinas is a completely different picture. Philippines, it's so negative. My God, I cannot imagine how negative people are. Di ba? And because of that, you can see what? Absence of what? Buyers. Kasi sa takot lang yun eh. But more or less, hindi natin alam kung kailan magre-reverse yan. Pero alam ko, mura lahat yan. So, bottom up naman tayo dito. Meaning, I would now identify, how do I identify what I should be buying? What do you think? What is the first rule of identifying why you should be buying this issue? What is that rule that I have to do? Ano yung nahanap ko? Insider. Right? You have to see the insider buy. Are they aggressively buying back your shares? Right? So that would be your first indication. Now, you have to remember, we have to be careful. Sometimes the insider are always very early. Very early yung mga insider. Kasi if you follow me, you're dead. Insider din ako, araw, bumibili ako ng Siolo. Oh, di ba? So you still have to be what? You still have to understand that the underlying how the stock is performing. Kasi kung ako kasama mo, patay ka. Kasi hindi mo alam, wala na akong pera, bababa niya mag-isa. Did you get it? Did you understand? So in other words, if you are following insider, kailangan marunong ka rin mag-market timing, kailangan marunong ka matumingin. Kung tapos na yan, malapit na matapos yan tuloy. Kasi I really remember, in the 2008 URC that was being sold off, 20 pesos nagbabayback na yung may-ari. Tapos nawala siya, after 14 pesos nawala na siya. Sa baba, binibentahan ng lahat. Paano nangyari yan? Di kung sumunod ka sa kanya, ubusin ka rin. Did you get it? So kailangan, naintindihan mo, you have to remember, that you have to understand also price. Because that's the most important price kasi we're actively trading the market eh. You got it? So kailangan, price is the most important because the insiders can also be early. Right? Yung pala, for example, semi-rara. At what price the insider were buying already? Oh, baka even more pa nga eh. Di ba? Right?
Meron sa 30 yan.
Meron isa 30 yan. Kaya nga sumunod din kami dyan eh. Oh, yung pala nasa resistance yung 30. Did you get it? Di ba? Pag hindi ka nagbenta nung nag-breakdown, may problema ka. Di ba? Kasi hindi mo mura yan. Sobrang mura yan. Pero it can stay cheap. It can stay cheap. So for us, for example, if I want to buy this, I also have a bar. Diba? I also have a budget. Let's say a budget ko, let's say it's 20 million pesos. O 10% lang. Yan ang lalagay. Yes. Yan ako tayo.
You need to, I think they're here to find out the technicals and shorting
Yeah.
more than, kasi it's a bit yambe po ano.
Bakit? We have
I'm sure, di ba may lunch tayo? Ano ba?
What time?
12 siguro.
Okay. I'm just giving the
Baka hindi tayo maka-discuss ng shorting.
Shorting, what I'm saying here, shorting is the same as going long. That's all it is. That's why I don't understand the hesitation. I don't understand the hesitation. Shorting is same as long. Okay, so I'll give you some of the shorts that we look at. Let's have a look at cream. Huh?
Bago rin eh.
Yeah. And what's the reason why? So if you look at it, Bombay, at what price did I get it?
Double tap. 46.
Huh?
46.
That's right. Oh, kasi lang yun eh. Di ba? Double top. Break up the 100 day. Diyan na ako. The problem is, by 200 day, cover na ako. Di ba? Is that a real short or not? Is that the real short? Meaning, is that the short that you will do?
The word.
Huh?
The divergence.
So that means I'm just assuming that it'll hold up. It's a breakdown or a 50-day.
So pwede mo yung Apple.
Huh?
Apple, di ba? Parang, tsaka Amazon.
Oh, that's
Yeah, parang ganun.
For sure mo ba?
Hindi, I'm sorry, hindi pa. Di ba? Parang ganun din.
What I'm saying is wrong. I'm just showing you the chart that it's wrong.
So Cree was wrong.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
wrong.
wrong.
Huh?
Cree was
No,
wrong.
it's not the real, it's a wrong kind of short. Pero bumaba rin. Kaya I'm just telling you. The only reason why I made money was because the market was turning down already. But in reality, that's a wrong short. It's like Siri, yung pinakita ni isang estudyante. Look at Siri. O, di ba? Siri. Sabi niya, breakdown na. Ha? Di ba? Parang breakdown on what? Parang ano yan eh, parang expansion, o parang yung slingshot on the downside, di ba? Yan ang sinasabi niya eh. O, the slingshot. Tapos pinakita ko sa kanya isang chart. Look at it carefully ah. RHT. I showed them that chart. Oh, nag-rally ba hindi? Breakdown din, di ba? Nag-rally. So if you look at this RHT, where is the real short? Oh, marunong pala kayo. Di ba? Right or wrong? Oh, pero no. It's nothing. It's really just you need to do production now. You just need to go look for these stocks now. Right? Gap down. So A, B, going to the C. And that's it. That's it now. Tapos na. 5 minutes lang yan. No, it's true experience that you need to do production. You really need to just really look at the different stocks and just have that mindset. Understanding, ibaliktad mo eh. Ginagawa ni Edo, pinapabaliktad na. Pag binaliktad mo, makikita mo eh. Pero pag gano'n, hindi mo makikita. Oh, di ba? Di get it? Ano, baliktad mo. Makikita mo yan. Oh, di ba? Di ba reversal yan? Ano yan? Is that the reversal? Is that the V? Is that the V square root? Is that the same? Right or wrong? Oh, no difference.
MS Paint.
So, momentum settings.
You did it? You got it? Ganun lang, kabalik ka rin lang yan. Remember, at the bottom, what do you see? For example, that's like Metrobank at the bottom. Yan. Yung mga yan, nagda-divergence na yan. Di ba? Di ba parang mag-reverse na yan? Mag-50-day reverse na yan? Did you see it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Okay. sorry. Wrong choice of word. Can you see it? Oh, di ba? Did you get it? That's what's happening today in the Philippine market. That's what you're seeing today. Metrobank, and what else? What else yung mga ganun? Mga divergence na yan. Nag-uumpisa na naman tayo. Yan, no? Malapit yan, no? Di ba? So in other words, once it breaks 50-day, akit na yun eh. Akit na yan. Did you get it? Ganun lang. Oh, for example, let's look at Metrobank here.
Ano binili niyo?
Ano nilin ko? Saan ba ka? Ay, bilhin naka-circle ako sa security bank ako. Nasyamtaan na ako. Let's say Metrobank. Okay. Let's look at Metrobank. After the sell-off to the 50-day, di ba? Break of the 50-day, what did it do? Ano ginawa ng Metrobank? Ano ginawa niya?
Blue sky.
Blue sky?
Blue sky.
Ano blue sky yan? Pangit na kita.
Wings.
Ibaliktad mo na. Let's baliktad mo na lang yung chart na yung Metrobank.
Sending that.
Ibaliktad natin.
Yeah, sorry.
So, yun o.
Saan na? Baliktad na.
perfect.
Oh, ano meron dyan? What is that formation?
When you reset it.
What is that?
Reverse
After the spike down V, what did you have there?
square.
Square root. Oh, thank you. So there are not, in other words, there are only three kinds of reversals. Three kinds, huh? One is a V, then the square root, right? Then one is another V, then a retest, which is a W, right? Then one is an L, sideways, then became a U. So there are three kinds of reversals na yan.
V square root.
So in other words, when you are able to identify a spike up, spike down, then a sideways, that means it's a square root. Pero pabaliktad. You get it? Alright? O, ganun lang yan, ha? Ganun lang yan. So then, as it breaks out, it's a reversal. Okay, let's look at it. You got it? So in other words, I'm not playing games. I'm only following the rules of reversals. Once you see a reversal, what do? Then you start looking at is it a square root? Is it a flat coil? Is it a falling coil? Right? So it's the same. When I'm shorting, it's the same thing. Meaning I saw the square root already. Papabaliktad. Spike up, spike down, sideways, then the breakdown. So alam mo na, nag-umpisa na mag-breakdown yan. Okay, let's look at Hong Kong, FXI.
HSI?
FXI. Yeah, FXI. Yes.
When did you start? I'm assuming you said after the break of the 50-day, you were already looking to short, right? So from then, you were already shorting certain issues
Yes,
already.
yes, yes. I never went long. I was looking to short. Kaya natala ako ng short. Kasi the mood has changed na, the sentiment has changed already. That's why I wanted to show you the big picture. We have to look at it thought. This one is the same. Spike up, spike down, sideways, then the break.
Diba, like, yung thing yung Philippines oversold. Like,
Let's look at the Philippines.
eh, paano yung US ngayon, may sell-off, are you looking to go to pick?
I don't trade. That's a very good question. I think the US is done. It's oversold. Major support. There are some rules. So I agree that there's a rally going on. It's going to be a relief rally. So what is that rally? A big sell-off. So what is the next rally? What is that expectation? Huh? Rising wedge. So in other words, you will now have those rising wedge. So the market is oversold. May have some volatility, pero bakit yan? Hindi pa bababa. So if I'm going to look for a short again, what do you do? I covered all my shorts. I have to wait. Meaning, because I know, bakit ang market pababa? Tingin ko sa bakit baba sa US, at tapos US.
The picture or the short term?
Short term.
Mataas.
So why do we want to be short? Did you get it? Did you get it? Diba? Kasi, binentahan na, kung hindi pa binibenta yan, mag-short pa ako. Pero binentahan na eh. I don't know if it's gonna hold, right? But what I will do is my odds that it will go down is higher or lower. Why? Kasi, binentahan na yun eh. Meaning the big picture is, binenta na. But before that, a month ago, yung short ko tumanda rin. Di ba? Did you get it? But today, after it's set up, hindi na ako mag-short. Bakit ako mag-aalam ng short? Eh, binenta na yung market. The overall market, binenta niya. I mean, then you ask me, why are we still here? Eh? No, I'm just sharing with you guys the process. It's a process that I go through. Right? I will be shorting before the breakdown. The day that when the breakdown comes, it's my time to just buy back all of my shorts. And then I just wait because the main state is still the same. Right? But then, when it's rallies already, we're seeing the wedges already, what do you think I'll be doing? Looking for long, looking for short?
Short. So boss, during the rally, you won't be looking to go long. I mean, at its 4 minutes rising wedge, you're not.
If you're asking me,
Yeah.
syempre hindi. Kasi, nasa right side na ako eh. I want to wait for the rally to go short. I don't know, Lawrence will agree with me. If I can find a long, then I'll go for a long.
That was my answer. Is that more than likely you're not gonna see any very, very marginal lang mga longs na makikita mo. So a lot of the longs that you guys liked over the past several months,
Binenta na rin.
all of them have cracked. So if you look at all your Octas, your EX, lahat yan, lalaki ng mga breakdowns di ba? So these are significant sell-offs already where your primary trends are busted in. So for me, these are just oversold bounces lang if you whenever you'll see it, di ba? Like this one's gone down so much. These are oversold bounces lang makikita mo So you might see some semblance of rallies, but all of these rallies in the back of your mind, these are all basically rising wedges di ba?
So that was the big picture is,
Right, yeah.
we know that it's going to go
Right side.
the right side. Meaning either it's a square root, diba? It's a rectangle, or it will be a rising wedge. So kung alam ko lang mag-rectangle naman, alam ko lang mag-rising wedge, tulong ba ako? Hindi.
The only things I would actually consider even going long, and I had this discussion with Leonard yesterday, was all of the ones with significant earnings drifts that will be coming over the next month, kasi earnings season is coming in. That's the only thing I would even bother considering going long on. So let's say if you have issues with huge neglect, and then you have gap ups, and then market has to reprice something in, that's the only thing I would actually look at. Otherwise, itong mga ganito, I would be very...
I really believe that there will be new fundamentals, new catalysts that will be coming up. I just don't know what. That's your role. But as far as I'm concerned, all these things, all the ones that we like, all the clouds, everything, consolidation and sideways. Reset, huge reset.
Actually, if you look at Workday in 2014, this is very similar, not unlike Workday during that period in 2014. Kasi Workday and them were also 30 times price to sales yung mga yan.
So eventually, pero consolidate. Yeah, yung mga ganun.
So you see that stage at when you see that huge spike on the left side.
This one.
Yeah, that's 30 times price to sales. And then you see the oversold bounces, and then wala na.
So just expect, it's all about, I mean, I've learned something from attending K-room classes, it's all about expectation. So as long as you know what to expect, that means at the back of your mind, at least if I have the big picture already. Then, the only time I short is when it's quiet. I will never short something where it's volatile. Short lang ako pag quiet. That's all I do. And the same thing as how I go long. Pag nag-breakout yan, kailangan umakyat niya yan. The minute that it goes back, let's say for example, I'm buying, diba? I'm just buying. So, expansion breakout. So, nag-breakout siya. I have a lot of time stop. If the breakout, and it goes back, and I see negative na, same day breakout, dapat green na yan eh. Diba? I don't even look at I just look at my portfolio. Pag nag-red na yan, ayoko na. Lalabas ko na yan. So, hindi ako mapapatalo. That's what I do. Kasi I believe that if the condition is good, pag nag-break out, try tumuloy yan. Pag hindi tumuloy yan, that means ayaw ko na yan. For example, let's look at NTRI, the one I shorted. Right? Diba nag-rally? Yung MACD ko, diba? Below zero. So I shorted the other day. Eh bad boy, ayaw maging red. Parang green and green. Hindi nagpatalo ko ng $120. That's it. Right? For example, in X, na short ko. So what's the difference between this one and this one? Same thing, nag-rally all the way to resistance. Right? Right? And then the other one, X, for example. Anong difference? Anong difference?
Kakababa lang na.
Ha?
Yung isa parang patagal ng mga.
Hindi. Anong difference? This formation na. Ito formation na. On the right side na. This one is proper consolidation, di ba? Right? That's why it can go down. Or even yung kay Hazel, yung YY. Ganun din. Same formation yan. Di ba? Same formation yan. Right? Pero yung sa akin, parang bitin. Parang bitin. Di ba? Parang isang ano lang. Parang kulang sa duration. Di ba? Parang kulang sa duration yung
NTR, right?
IDRI. But this one, I lost what? $100, $200. Yung X ko. Bar lang, I use the bar. More than $1,000. So okay lang. Right?
I think it makes a big difference though, where like what Bobby was saying is where you're where you're at. Because this one is everyone's heavily profitable over the past year, and then breaking even, and then now losing money.
Well, the other one is ano na.
Whereas and TRI was significantly, a lot of people were significantly losing money and then breaking even. So yeah,
Mas mabagal na.
mangyayari
Binentahan na.
on the rallies you're breaking even. So nangyayari, nakakalabas na sila. So over that junction of that 2 to 3 month junction where it's sitting at the 200 day, naglalabas ng mga tao eh. So nangyayari, this can be going into neglect na.
What about MGA?
MGA?
Yeah. So why did I choose this? So where do you think I shorted up?
The ball. The ball.
May setup yan.
Very noisy one.
Meron ba?
Where
Where is the setup? Ano ba yung mga setup natin? After a breakout, expansion breakout, that's 1. 2 is what? Jack in the box. 3, slingshot. 4, 180 degrees. Oh, which one is that? Please review all your setup, the setup of a rectangular breakdown. Saan tayo mo sa condition short na?
The update breakdown of the prop.
Of course, that's where it is. You got it? Ganun lang yan ha? Oh, let's say MCHP. MCHP, yeah, MCHP. So what's your short now? What is your short now?
78?
79.
Dapat yun. Right? You got it? So it should be this kind of formation. It's the same guys, it's the same Going long and going short are the same. Baliktad mo na lang, parang pag takot ka, baliktad mo, you will see it differently. Ganun lang yan. Ganun lang yan. Di ba? And then if you're afraid, don't worry, you will not lose. Why will you not lose? Come on, guys. Why will you not lose? May bar ka. May bar ka. Pag break out or ibig sabihin blood breakdown, bumalik sa presyo mo, square na, hindi ka matatalo. That's what I was always telling everybody. When you're trading, the bar is to compute your size. But your time stop is the most important. The time stop is the most important. Because if you let them hit you, tama ka talaga. Kasi pag nag-breakout, bumabalik yan. Pag tunay na breakout, hindi bumabalik yan. Dire-diretso na yan. Okay, so vice versa. If I'm shorting, pag short ko, kaya bumaba na yan. Pag hindi bumaba, nasa-square na ako. Then I'll probably do it the next day again. Diba? Pero, like ka magpapatalo. Hindi ka na magpapatalo eh. Hindi ka na magpapatalo. I think I should change that word. Hindi ka magpapatalo. Hindi ka magpapatalo.
If you're wrong, the amount that you're losing
It's so small.
should be marginal compared to when you're right, when you can write this significant source. That's what it is.
That's what I just explained. So, guys, you need to write down your setup. What are these setup? So when conditions changes, you need to be there. Because if you're not there, you won't learn anything. You have to be, it's called well-rounded. You need to be well-rounded, right? It's the same, right? Now, the thing is this, when the market are strong, like in the US, it's still about 200 day, about 200 day. So, what's the reason why we don't encourage you to bottom up, to buy reversals in the US? What's the reason? Huge laggard, right? In other words, in the US, you have more than 10,000 companies. You should always just be focused on going long, right? Diba? Right? Or, if the sentiment is changes, you want to be looking for some setup that you can short. Now, shorting and going long are totally different also. Shorting is more dangerous. Why is it more dangerous? Why is it that when we're shorting, we're just like scalping? Pag nag-break the card, anyway, we should be scalping, right? But vice versa, we should really be just scalping. When you're shorting, what is the reason?
Mabilis bumalik.
mabilis na lang bumalik. Mabilis na lang. And there's always this black swan, parang nangyari sa taong lang yan. Pwede kayo gap down. Right? In shorting, pwede kayo gap up. Pwede taken over. That's why shorting, kailangan stage 1 lang. Maximum stage 2. Maximum stage 2. You don't do stage 3. Stage 3 kasi pwede kayo take over.
IMPV yan. IMPV. We were looking to short this, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Then it got acquired.
Oh. Diba? Yung mga yan. Parang naon na yan. Parang black swan ka. Alright? Parang ka na ba black swan?
So we're shorting the mga 40 plus, 45, mga ganyan.
Do you see it? This is very good example. Very good example. Diba? Kasi kung gano'n, diba? Kaka-breakdown lang eh. Kung hindi ka nag-cover na, ubus ka na. That is the reason why most people don't like to short. Right? So if you're not shorting, it doesn't matter. I don't have a problem. But what I'm sharing with you is that we do shorts, right? Yes, these are really the dangerous part. That's one of the reasons we don't encourage trading basura. Because basura, you can have those gap downs. It's really so dangerous. Kasi wala naman laman yun. Diba? That's why whenever people are talking about trading basuras, we just cannot teach them because we cannot teach something that is no intrinsic value. We cannot. Okay? Now, if any of you are interested to short, give us your setup rules so that I can try to guide you in and out. Diba? Para confirmation lang. Just for confirmation lang. Para maging sana. One at a time lang. Right? Based on a 0.5 or 1% margin. Para, diba? Learn how it's done. Learn how it's done. So these are the things that
If you're
you
looking for shorts today, you're looking for shorts. You'd be looking for something that is just significantly broken 200-day, right? That's the priority. So you want to get those guys that are alongside the market that are just cracking, right? So there's actually three different looks today. So the first one is Netflix, which is stronger than the 200-day. This is the one that you have sell off onto 200 days. So these are the strongest on the board today. And what you want is that you want these guys to rally or consolidate over the next 4 to 6 weeks before breaking down. That's what you want. The two is the one that is sitting right under 200 day, which is Schwab. This is the middle ground right now. So this is very similar to the market today. Yeah, that's what I know. So you're basically just sitting at the 200 day, just beginning to break down. And the third one is like your BID, like Sotheby's, where these were formations that have broken down to 200 day and then rallied already.
You know where just one.
Those are this is what you're looking for. So when you have these cracks, to the 200 day, the first thing there's a lot. We missed so many this last round. I was reviewing a lot of the charts this last round, and we missed a lot. So guys like BID, where you have cracks on the 200 day, and then a rally. So essentially what you want in the market is something like this. So what's happening over the next 4 to 6 weeks is that you want to see these rallies come in, and then you want to be looking to short.
Kasi the problem is in our list kasi puro long list.
That's the problem.
That's why you have to get somebody to really work on this list. Ang dami rin dyan eh. May cheating lang ako kasi is that I can see the divergence on the S&P 500. And then all my longs doesn't work. When it doesn't work, that means alam ko na I should be looking for shorts. That's all it is. So the sentiment is the most important. Today, when the whole market sold off, hintayin na natin ito mag-rally. Those rallies, and then we look for the main index to rally. Anytime you rally, you can now identify all these underlying shorts.
So part of the reason why we were having so much difficulty with the shorts is because in the back of our mind, all the long issues that we really like, we're still trying to look for entry points on those guys. Kasi hindi pa naman bumababa, yung mga Reggie, these guys, parang nagdadasal pa tayo na baka mag-hold to tapos mag-rally, di ba? Right? So that's the problem. Because our bias is, we did so well on the long side, in terms of our bias, we were looking to still continue to look for opportunities on the longs from these guys. Whereas in actuality, all the ones that are losers, the ones that are mahina sa market, hindi na natin pinapansin. So we just remove these from our list.
Kaya hindi mo makita eh.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
hindi
problem.
mo makita. So guys like PII,
So in other words, magre-review pa ako, nag-ahanap pa ako, di ba? And that's what I was calling to share the other day. dapat we identify those sectors that are weak. And then lagyan na natin ng into a list. Kasi kung like these are sure shot yan.
The
Pero
problem
yung
is
mga
we were
MACD back to zero line.
The problem is we were here. So nung gumanito yung issue,
Take out na.
tinanggalan namin sa listahan namin.
But in reality,
bumababa sila na. We have to
Yan.
keep them.
yan ang problema sa short. Yan ang problema sa short. May mga squeeze yan.
So our frustration level when we were shorting during that time is that sometimes you will go long, parang yung mga short namin sinisqueeze, yung mga long namin hindi tumutuloy. So parang mag-defense yung nangyayari naman at that time, but eventually it will take a specific direction anyway. Diba? And in this time, in this situation, it went down.
But guys, mahirap talaga itong negosyo natin. This is being confirmed so many times by Leonard. Kasi pag may negosyo na, sinisabi niya, sisarado na natin ito eh. Mahirap talaga itong negosyo na ito eh. Diba? But what we need to do is, I just want to reiterate again and again, follow the process, follow your rules. If you're not doing well, one at a time, manage your losses. Then, once you are well-rounded already, once you understand the different setups, kasi I teach, kasi it's not taught in K-Group, it's called retracement, reset, reversals. I teach that. In the Philippines, I have to teach that. Because if I don't teach what they call the 3 R's, it's not even original, it's in a book of Smart by Linda Rasky yan eh. Nandun nakasulat yan. Retracement, reset, reversals. Reversals are, today in the Philippines, it's reversals. Is it a V? Is it a W? Is it a M and L? So let me show you what is an L, AGI, Philippines AGI. 2 years ago. Okay na tayo sa shorts, ha? Okay na, ha?
Okay na, guys.
Okay tayo, ha? Sige.
Okay, pwede kang kwento.
If you guys have nuances, if you guys are looking for nuances or problems with like specific short formations, we can go over it now. Diba?
Yeah.
Okay, we take the time to go over it. Bring it up, diba, to your seniors.
Ilagay mo 3 years.
And then we'll go over it. Para makita natin kung tama yun. Let's say if you guys are worried na mali nakikita ninyo or whatever it is.
Hindi, basta when you're shorting, kailangan may MACD near zero line. Oh, that's your L. You see the L? Nakita niyo yung L? Oh, that's your L.
Tapos naging U.
Ayan, before the U, ah. That in AGI, that's your L. You see it? Okay, PSEI. Okay, that's your square root. That's your square root. Okay? Now it's your W. No, I'm joking.
We hope.
It's like a double bottom. Di ba double bottom yan?
Baka. Sana.
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 Double bottom yan, di ba?
Sana, yan na.
Oh, let me give you some good. Let's look at EWZ. EWZ, Brazil.
3 years pa rin, boss.
Hindi, 2 years. Oh, yun, ganun yun. Okay, thank you. Oh, di ba? Di ba parang yan? Di ba after the round retest? Oh, retest new low? O, di ba ganun yan? Ano ba yun?
Boss, di ba yan confirmation bias?
Di ba lahat mo yan?
Okay. I'm just sharing this with you.
Lahat naman na.
Right? Di ba? Di ba ganun yan? Di ba nandiyan yan?
Yes.
Oh, di ba? But I don't know if it rally like that, huh? But that's what I'm saying. In other words, how can I be so bearish when I'm seeing countries like an emerging markets already? I think they're pricing in already the 10-year. And you're seeing these rallies happening. Because if this is not happening,
Should remind ourselves.
may cheating ka rin. Diba? Parang bottoming out process niya, di ba? So yun ang problema dito. After the new law, may retest. Did you get it? Did you see those retests? Yung sa baba.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Di ba? Yeah. So we're seeing the rally today. Hindi, 2 days ago. If you, no. JC. The first rally.
This one.
Yeah. You're seeing that, di ba? So, pwede bang mag-retest? After that, tingin ko, yun yan. I'm not sure. Pero, Parang yun ang
Wait for the
confirmation
test.
bias sa housing.
Tingnan natin.
But
Tingnan
it's
natin
safe.
yung statement.
Di ba kayo sabi, yes.
Tapos yung pag tingnan mo lahat ng emerging market siya na mag-isang rally. Brazil lang. Kasi may news yun sa elections eh.
Yeah. But I'll tell you that's why I agree with that. May catalyst siya. May catalyst siya.
Yung nanalo.
But if emerging market that means it's oversold. That's why you can have this catalyst.
Or,
It's oversold.
what about yung buong EEM? Do you think oversold na yan?
Personally, oversold. May rally. We're seeing rally. I don't know. Let's look at India. Binagay pa eh.
Sabi ni Javi parang descending triangle.
Hindi descending, please. please. This is not completely not descending triangle.
Yes.
Oh, parang di na.
Okay. Please, for those who all gone through Caleb with me, I
Look at the volume coming out now.
Okay.
Same
For
channel.
you guys, this is a no, and then he's drawing this line, right?
Yeah, it's that.
For those of you who went through Caleb, you know how adamant I am about descending triangle, the descending triangle. This is lower than this is lower than this. There's no way that this is descending
Yes.
triangle, okay?
Channel,
Right? You know what this is? This is EPHE several months ago.
Channel.
Yeah. Di po tapos siya.
Might be here, we might have another leg. This is not descending triangle. This is exhaustion on
the cell
oils.
I really think we're almost. Be careful with what I say, right?
Naka-record tayo, boss.
I really don't know. What's up? The only thing, I mean, it's really easy for intuition. Is that when everything is so negative, I don't want to be too negative. Ganun kasimple lang yan. I'm always looking now to enter. That's why, dahil tinamara ko sa SEC, ganun din nangyayari. Diba? Because I would start looking at opportunities to get in. That's why, in fact, the other day, nagpabili na ako ng SSI sa mga IFA. Today, nagpapabili ako ng AGI kasi we saw that 30-50 yan eh. Then we're trying to buy, saan mo pinapabili ko? AGI. Ha? Kasi Mirara, we're also looking to go inside Mirara. Kasi ang laki ng insider buying. Both na pinapabili ko, puro big insiders buying. SSI, big insider buying also. So in other words, I'm buying all these things that are kasama ko, yung may-ari. And the clients can hold. Right? Yung security bank yesterday, nakita ko kasi Asian sila bumibili. Kaya bumili ako, pero natakot din ako. Kasi it's his personal. Nakikita ko siya kasi it's his personal buying. Hindi yun sa buyback, walang disclosure. So using Asia Sec SB securities. So makikita ko siya. Di ba? Kaya sumasali kami. But these are not, there's no rules on that. There's no rules on that, so you have to be careful. These are issues that we buy, and it's not really for trading. It's really just for
long-term.
for clients yan talaga, for clients. Now, if you're gonna buy it, kasi at this level, you cannot cut it anymore. Yun ang problema na. You cannot cut anymore kasi mura talaga yan. Sobrang mura. Now, if you're gonna ask about Negro, I don't think it's cheap. I don't see them. Hindi, I can see them. You know, the reason why they ask me about Mega World, or they ask me about all the properties companies, I cannot go wrong kasi rising interest rates. Pag rising siya, I'm so sure slow down yung residential component. Yan. Check mo sa dati mo kung totoo yun. Diba? Kasi as far as they're concerned, they're launching a lot of, like, not only them, a lot of people are launching a lot of provincial project. Kung bibili ako sa Pampanga sa Cavite, 30 years before my children would be able to use it. Did you get it? Like Alabang today is 40 years na. Marami pang lote na binibenta dyan. Right? Santa Rosa, I bought that property 22 years ago. 1996, bumili ako. Baka kung sino gusto mo bumili, I'm selling it for 10,000 pesos. 780 square meter. One line! Nubali katabi. 25,000. Pero one line lang difference. Nandito ako, nandito Nubali. Dito, 6,000-7,000 pa yata o 8,000. Wala pang bahay doon. The last 30, ilang years na yan? 1996. 1996.
Problema, magkakasama ko yung bumili.
Ayan, niyaya ko niya din yan. Sabay kami. So lahat ng mga bumili, mga broker, hindi nagpapatayo. Hanggang kaya, investment lang. Wala nangyari. It's a ghost land. Let me share with you, Southwoods is the same. 1986, Southwoods was built. Till today, Southwoods is 15,000 pesos. It went to 3,000-4,000 pesos during the crisis. Southwoods is so beautiful, it's so near. Kung hindi lang tinake over ng Mega Road, it's not even gonna work. Because the whole is investment. There's nothing there.
Ganda ng mall dun.
Sobrang ganda.
Sobrang ganda ng mall.
That's 32 years already. So can you imagine if you're in Cavite, which Ayala is launching, Pampanga, Ayala is launching, there are just too many of these people launching all at the same time. Tingin ko, another 20-30 years yan. If you're buying it, it's another 20-30 years. Kasi they give you easy terms for you to pay. Diba? And then you're thinking, wait, Ayala developed that? Yes, correct. If you're giving to your children, maybe. The problem is I was giving to my children, nobody wants to live in Santa Rosa. That's why I never applied for the children. Just buy Ayala land shares and give it to them. O, di kukunin nila yan. That's how I sell it. That's how whenever I'm giving a talk, that's how I sell it. Don't plan for your children. Just buy stocks for them. 20 years later, it's gonna be worth something. Sana. Kasi, di ba? Alright, let's go. If you have any questions.
Lunch is ready now.